No, I'm nervous. Don't be nervous. Hey friends, we have a very special guest on my channel, the biggest twink you will ever meet, Thomas.
Hi guys, my name is Thomas. Should I go ahead and introduce the topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so him and I work together, and so we exchange our Instagrams and stuff. He noticed that I had a YouTube, and so on my YouTube, like one of my more like, not like my very first video, but one of them, like a really heavy video, and like this video is kind of centered around a pretty heavy topic. But when I was 17, I found out I had HIV, and I have like a whole video on that on my channel and stuff. But he saw that video, and he honestly had a lot of questions, and since we both do YouTube, we thought it would be good if we both went on camera and kind of answered some of the questions he had, just to like bring awareness.
Yeah, so he's gonna be answering my questions, and then he's also gonna do my makeup at the same time. I'm already fucking hating this because I live for men in makeup, but just it's not for me. I'm not cute in makeup.
You know, that's what we all say till we see ourselves in a motherfucking look, and then we look fire as shit, and then, you know, you're like feeling yourself and shit. So yeah,
ready?
I think I'm ready.
So let's get into it, guys. Just viewer discretion. If this like topic triggers you, just click away. We are going to be getting a little bit deep, but it is for a good cause. Do you want to start off by just like giving a little backstory?
A little backstory? Okay, so I'm gonna talk about how I found out. So when I was younger, I honestly was not the best child in my opinion, and I kind of would always go out and like kind of party a lot, and I just was not good. I would honestly do a lot of drugs, and that's where everything started to go wrong, in all honesty. I was going out with my friends a lot, and then it ended up I would go on this little app that I'm sure a lot of gay guys know about, called Grindr. And on Grindr, there is guys who want to ruin your fucking life, in my opinion. I mean, I'm like so relatable, but yeah, so there was one specific night where this one guy invited me over, and I tried this little drug. I mean, it's not really little. I kind of also like get flustered talking, not flustered, but like my brain starts to scatter when I talk about this, just because there is kind of like, I wouldn't quite say trauma, but there is a little bit of trauma. So if I'm kind of all over the place with the story, like please bear with me. But anyways, this guy invited me over, and when I got there, he was smoking something, and he offered me a hit of it. I had no idea what it was. I'm like the dumbass bitch I was like 16 around when this time happened. I was like, yeah, like I'm down, and so I ended up taking a hit out of a bong, and like, you know me, like I smoke weed, like I think like bongs are fine, but like this bong was like some crack ass bong, and so I basically ended up like taking a hit of meth. And meth in like the gay community, they have like a very tight-knit relationship, and it's kind of fucked up because
which I didn't know about. I didn't know about.
You didn't know about that? Okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so I ended up just getting into that, and after like the very first time that I tried it, I honestly got hooked on it, and excuse me. At the time, it was a lot of just going out and fucking random dudes, because that's what that kind of makes you want to do. And as grimy and shit as that sounds, like as a 16-year-old not growing up in kind of like a community of people telling me what's okay and what's not okay, that kind of like, I don't want to say messed me up, but it kind of messed me up because I didn't really know what I was doing. And as dumb as it sounds, like I feel like at 16 my head wasn't even in the right space to even think about that. And so basically,
which happens a lot. Like that's the thing too, is that like I went on Grindr when I was like younger than 18, and that's the thing, is that like there's a lot of kids out there who go on social dating apps and they're a lot younger than 18 than what you're supposed to be, and so a lot of them get stuck in these situations that aren't the best. So that's also the thing too.
Yeah, like besides the meth addiction that I had went through for about a year, when I finally quit, I was clean from it, and I had finally, like, I just hit my own breaking point, honestly, where I realized like you aren't doing, like what you're doing is honestly hurting you more than it's like doing anything. And so I had stopped, and then a couple months later I went to my very first Pride event, which was Long Beach Pride. And when I was at Long Beach Pride, there was this like it's like a little truck, like a,
Yeah,
what are
like
those
the
called? Like
little-
a food truck almost, except this one was like a HIV testing truck. And so I went and I just got tested because prior to that I was getting tested on the regular, and it had been a couple months, and so I was just like, oh, like might as well go and just like see how this one goes. And so I went, and it was really fucked up. I kind of just sat in a room and I just got my blood test, and I was like, it was literally my very first Pride that I ever went to. They told me like it's coming up reactive, and I was like, oh, like that's literally all I could think was like, oh, because like honestly in my head I also was like, yeah, I see it, just because I was being such a dumbass at the time. And so that's how I found out. And then it wasn't until I turned 18 that I really was like able to like start treatment and stuff for it. And so now I am 19 and I'm currently in a state of undetectable, HIV undetectable, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. But that's kind of a little fucked up little preface to how everything kind of happened.
Me as a gay man, I should know more about these things, but I honestly don't. But like when people say undetectable, like I don't even know what necessarily that means.
Okay, so being undetectable means that the virus is so low in your body that through a medical test they can't really detect it in your system. So therefore, like, it's basically, I would call it like dormant. I want to say like I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm going off like what my doctor is telling me and like the information I've retained and like what I've searched up myself looking about it, because when I was younger, like I honestly thought it was gonna kill me. And then like as I started going to the doctors and stuff, I started like, he started putting in my head like, no, it's not a disease you're gonna die from now like it used to be. Because HIV and AIDS, they're kind of like the same thing, I want to say, but if you have HIV, you don't have AIDS. AIDS is when the virus is like so much in your body that like you're starting to get sick from it, and when you get sick, that's when you have AIDS.
So it's like it's HIV, and then it could lead to AIDS.
Yeah, HIV can lead to AIDS. And so that's a little scary, especially for someone as young as I am.
And so like someone that wants to be in a relationship with someone who is undetectable and someone that doesn't have the virus, like, is there possibilities, or like can the virus be transmitted to the other person?
Okay, so I want to start out by saying this, that like when I found out I had it, I kind of went through like, oh, how can I ever be in a relationship with anyone? And like the thing is, like, there is preventatives. PrEP is a pill you could take every day, and that helps like fight it. And so it's like, that's something I think like every gay guy who's having gay sex, or like anyone having gay sex, should be on. You don't want to end up like how I ended up, like without like, because I couldn't, like at the time when I was 17, I couldn't go on PrEP. So there are preventatives, and if you're with someone who's taking their medication, there's like the risk for that is very, very low. And especially if you're using protection when you're having sex, which everyone should be doing anyways. So yes, there is like preventatives and stuff to help like people not get it, or like, yeah, like it go back and forth, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it does make sense. So like before you found out and before you went to Pride, like did you feel like there was any symptoms? Like did you see anything, like any changes? Or
honestly, I had no idea. I would think the only thing that I would say like I really noticed was I started getting night sweats. And that was kind of scary, honestly, because like I wouldn't ever get that, and I feel like even now when I get it, it's very like, that scares me. So that was probably one of the only symptoms that I had that I would say like really made me think for a second like, oh, like what's wrong? But besides that, like I would not have known any other way besides getting tested.
And that's also like a really important thing, because I feel like a lot of people think like, well, I don't have any symptoms, like I don't feel anything, so it's like, why waste my time going and getting tested, you know? Because people think that if I don't feel, like if I feel normal, if I feel good, then there's no reason, like I don't have anything, you know, like there's no reason for me to go get checked.
No, yeah, and just like people who think that way, honestly, like it's kind of ignorant. Because there's some things that aren't really going to, you wouldn't always like show symptoms for a lot of stuff. So that's why it's very good to get tested on the regular, because you never know. And like honestly, my whole thing when I like found out I had and stuff is I felt like really gross for having it, but that like as time went on I realized like I'm not gross. And like I feel like there's a lot of other guys in my position that aren't coming forward and talking about it, and so that's also something that like through making these kind of videos I hope to help them in that way too. honestly, just like everyone should go get fucking tested, like right the fuck now, in my opinion. Like,
Click off.
click off and go to your local STD center.
I think that in general in society, I think a lot of people have this like negative taste about it in their mouth. I think there's like a stigma around, you know, people who have HIV or like any STI really in general. And so knowing that there's like such a negative like stigma around it, like how does that make you feel? Like
honestly, so the first year that I found out, there was such a negative stigma around it. And I mean, I felt like it was more in myself that there's a, here, can you lean in? I felt in myself, and raise your eyebrow, that the I see you like swing your eyes, don't worry, it'll be fine, it won't hurt you. Okay, so honestly, fuck the stigma, because I thought people weren't gonna wanna like be with me, or people weren't going to wanna like be my friend, or like even like stupid small things like share drinks, like little stuff like that, because a lot of especially gay men don't really know a lot about it. And so there would be this whole thing where like I'm talking to someone and like I kind of like at first would just be straight up with it, like, oh, just so you know, like I have this, and I would literally get blocked or like would get ignored and stuff like that. And so the stigma around it, people kind of like associate you, they kind of think you're dirty, they think you're nasty, and like the thing is like I'm not. And so I want to like break that stigma, and I feel like talking about it is like the first way to do it. And I remember that like when I had first like come out, like put it on my Instagram, and that to me was like kind of one of the first steps for myself even to like accept it as much as I do now, because that's when I started realizing like so many people are there for you, and so many people are here to support you. And like even myself, like anyone who comes to me with issues about it or stuff, because I've had a handful of guys come to me asking lots and lots of questions about it, which I love, because you know that's like helping like spread awareness and stuff. And so it's like the stigma is something that like is definitely gonna stick around. Guys are definitely gonna block you on Grindr. Guys are definitely gonna assume you're like a fucking slut. And how I deal with it, I honestly just like, I literally don't give a fuck anymore. Like I gave a fuck for a year, and like after a year I got over that. Like,
and that's the thing too, is because like you mentioned, a lot of people will want to like share drinks with you, or like whatever the case may be. And honestly, it really is ignorance. You just assume that if someone has something, like you can't share drinks or whatever, like whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, not only gay men, like anybody could get this. And that's why it's important to spread awareness about it, because like it's not only gay men. Like yeah, it is common in the gay community, but if you're having sex, or if you ever had sex, like you have you run the chance of getting something. So it's important to like know about these things.
but yeah, like honestly, that's the fucking tea. Like just honestly educate yourself. Like at the end of the day, don't assume certain things about certain people, because half the time like you're kind of wrong.
It is unfortunate, but I feel like you have gotten a lot of positivity out of reaching to so many people and having people, you know, come forward and telling you their stories, and you know, spreading that awareness. So like throughout it all, like how do you think you've grown from it? How has it like affected you?
Honestly, I remember when I had first posted anything about it, I had woken up one morning and I really I was crying. I literally woke up crying over it, because it was just such a heavy topic that was on my shoulders. And so like coming forward with it and realizing how many people were out there supporting me, and then I really started realizing like, wow, this post touched so many people. And I've been thinking about making a video about this for so long, but I'm so scared, because I know my family is gonna see, I know my friends are gonna see, I know everybody's gonna see, and like it was just really scary. And I just said, at the end of the day, getting this off my chest will benefit me. And so, oh my fucking god, what is that? Fuck, that scared me. That bitch was staring at me. It was literally staring at me. So at the end of the day, I told myself, you know, make this video, put it out there. You don't know what kind of response you're gonna get. And I said, I want to share my story. What I've learned basically from it is you could still live with it. You aren't gonna die. It's gonna make you a stronger person, because now I'm a lot more, that's what I'm a lot more. Now I'm a lot more, I feel like, open of a person, and I am seeing like my video like every day, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views like keep coming in. And it's stuff like most of the traffic is coming in from YouTube searches, like, and so there's so many people like are in similar situations. And so coming forward and being able to touch so many people and seeing comments on comments of like how this video helped people, getting like Instagram DMs from guys younger than me telling me that they needed to see this, like that they were in such a depressed state and such a shitty place, and seeing my video they felt like they could relate to someone. It was just like, that's really when it started realizing like me, myself, like growing as a person and becoming someone who could speak upon a topic that no one will speak on, and just like be there for people who need people there for me, because I know no one was there for me when I did it. So I just didn't want other people kind of going through what I went through.
And that's the thing, is that like I feel like a lot of people go through this, whether it's HIV or like any STI.
No, yeah, I
general.
even get people telling me I had an STD and I watched this and I felt so ashamed of it, but now you can come forward with this, so why should I be scared about talking about this? And like, at the end of the day, you aren't gonna die. Like, you will live on, but you just have to take care of yourself.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are ashamed of whatever they may be going through, and so it does take a lot of courage, and it does take like a lot of bravery to stand up and like talk about this. And so that's why these videos are important. And if you're like that type of person that like, if you just don't get it and you're on here like just spreading hate, you are a shit person, because at the end of the day, like
me, everyone.
because at the end of the day, it is doing good. It is helping people. He posted a video not too long ago. It was like, what, a few months ago?
2 months.
Yeah, and he's already like at 10,000 views. People are interested. People are seeking help. They want to like find people and listen to their stories and just like feel like more confident and more reassuring about themselves.
You're looking, sorry, did I just get your eye? You're looking like a really pretty boy. I love this.
Wait.
I stand.
Oh, I hate it. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's literally the same look I'm wearing. Your eyeliner might come out fucked up. Oh my god, no, you just no, close your eye, close your Guys, he just ruined his eye makeup. I'm crying.
Sure, blame it on me, you asshole.
No, like, you literally, look, go show the camera what you just did. Close that eye. Do you see that black on his eyelid? We aren't fixing that. We're leaving it. We're leaving it. Look, oh my god, you got more on it.
What was your first impression of me, like, when you first saw me?
I was like, who's this boy? I was like, no, literally, that's me whenever a new guy comes to our work. I'm like, oh, who's this boy? And then it was determining if he was, like, straight or gay. And
so
then,
you didn't know right off the bat?
No, I didn't. I couldn't tell off the bat.
Wow.
Jose and I were like, what is he? Is he straight or is he gay? And then you called me fabulous, and so that's when I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so he's definitely
That's when you knew
gay.
I was gay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did get a gay vibe. I know my sister is out here, like...
Yeah, when it's because I saw him. I'm not even just, like, I'm literally not saying this. The second I saw him, I was like, I fucking love him. And then, like, I think it was the second shift that we worked together. I went up to him, like, all creepy. And then I was like, I don't even know you, but I love you. No, yeah, it was just, like, your whole vibe. Like, it was your style. It was, like, everything. You're just totally yourself, and I was living for it.
I'm gonna get close to your eye.
Okay. Ah, I'm just kidding.
Okay, we're skipping mascara. I saw him going to do that. Okay, so that's the final look. A bitch is not a beauty guru, so don't come for it. But like, he looks good in it, and he doesn't think he does.
So this is basically gonna wrap up our video. We definitely wanted to make this video just to spread awareness about the topic, and just to be, well, maybe it was just for me because I didn't know too much about it. So I definitely wanted to make a video, and I want to thank Thomas because I think he's just very brave for talking about his story, and I love the shit out of him. So if there's any hate comments, they're gonna be immediately deleted, so don't even waste your time.
Honestly, fuck your hate comments, hate on me. Give me that clout, bitch.
In all seriousness, this is a serious topic, and I'm gonna link something in my description so that you guys could find the nearest HIV clinic and get tested. So
wow, you're such a good fucking person. Like, me, I'm like, on my video, I'd be like, just Google it, bitch.
And I'm also gonna link down his Instagram and his YouTube down below. Check out his videos because they're really funny.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you've made it to the end of this video, make sure you also subscribe to his channel while you're here, and like drop a like if you guys like the video. And if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below. Like, I'll probably be checking them too, just as much as he is. So
yeah, definitely reach out to him or me. Just, you know, if you have anything to say, feel free. We'd love to hear your comments. So thank you for watching if you did get this far, and we will see you guys later. Bye guys.
bye.